Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. You know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. So I made reference that there are going to be three topical videos that I wanted to do moving forward. And the first one was how I cleared 25 to 30 grand off pounds, not dollars. And that equates to maybe around $50,000, give or take, 45 between 40 to $50,000 when you convert it, depending on the rate of exchange. And the other one is how I purchased my first home and how I actually wrote and published my first book during the pandemic and the steps that I took to do that. So today I'm just going to be talking about how I cleared off my debts. So when I left the Caribbean to come back to the UK, my intention was not to stay. It was never my intention. For the first time in my life, I was about to go traveling. That's what I really, really wanted to do. But prior to that, I made a promise to one of my closest friends that when she became Dr. Katapidi, no matter where I am in the world, I'll come. And I was able to do that. So I came up for Yana's ascension, and then we went to Greece for our friend Martha's wedding, and I had a blast. So my initial plan was to go traveling for a bit. I always told my parents I didn't do drugs. I didn't come home pregnant, and I was a good child. So for the first time in my life, I was going to explore and to travel because I really, really wanted to travel the world, to be quite honest. While in Greece, I found a master's program that I thought was like, oh my God, this is hella interesting. It was like a international relations with a focus on human rights. I was admitted. It was fine. And then I was like, okay, so how am I going to pay for this? So then I had to find a job. And a friend at that time told me about a job at not my current firm, but the firm I worked for before. So, oh, okay, cool. Let me apply. Let me see. I did the interview and they hired me. So here I am back in the UK. Still have my postgraduate loan to pay off. I also was just about to start this program, and I had like an overdraft facility and like a credit card debt. And like these are things that they give you while you're a student so you can manage and maintain and do whatever. So when you add up everything, it doesn't seem that much, but when you start adding up and paying off, it had to have been around 25 G's overall, which I was systematically trying to pay down because I got a postgraduate loan to do the bar. And as soon as I took my last exam, I had to start paying it back, whether I had the money or not. So while I wasn't working, it was about transferring from one place, like robbing from Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. So you transfer from your overdraft to make that payment. And when you get some coins, you put it back in. But when I came back to the UK, I was systematic about paying off my debt. I did not want to be in any debt. That's not something that I like. It's not something that I ascribe to. And I hate having to beg or borrow from anyone. And not only that, it was always my goal to get onto the property ladder. I would have done it in the Caribbean if I was home, or now that I'm back here. Wherever I am in that season, I have to make do and I have to be smart with the decisions that I'm making. So when I came back to the UK, my credit, I guess because I didn't have, like, I was paying the bills. Like, even when I was like doing my pupillage abroad, I was still paying the bills here. And that used to hurt my heart, to be quite honest, because imagine sending $1,000 back to the UK every month. And then the rate of exchange, the pound was so strong that $1,000 is being cut to like 500 pounds. And you're like, whoa. And on top of that, the bank was charging me $50 or $60 to transfer it from my account in the Caribbean to my account in the UK. And I did this purposely to maintain a good credit score, to make sure that my bills were being paid on time, to not have any adverse credit or CCJs or anything. So I was disciplined with that every month, even though I was doing my pupillage in the Caribbean. So I came back here. But because I wasn't earning like pounds like that, and they couldn't see like a substantial amount going into my current account every month, my credit was good, but there was no income, if that makes sense. So it was good credit, but no credit kind of thing. So went to the bank and asked, oh, if I wanted to take out a mortgage, how much can I take? Just based on my credit score when I came back. And they were like, you can get anywhere. I think it was like something ridiculous, like maybe 25 to 50,000 pounds or something like that. I was like, there's no money. You can't buy anything with that, to be quite honest. But looking back now and having the knowledge that I have now, I realized that, wow, that was still pretty good credit for not earning an income like here, you know what I mean? And just sustaining the bills that I was doing. So was grateful for that. But how I paid down all of these debts, I did not go anywhere. I did not do anything. I literally lived below my means. And I think that's a very hard concept for people. And what I did also, I entered into this saving scheme or policy with my employers where they would take out like £500 from my salary every month and just put it towards the saving pot. And I literally lived off the rest. And mind you, when I came back, the amount I was earning was no money because I was just focusing on trying to do this master's program and then paying off the rest of the loan. So I was earning no money. So for me to be taking a lump sum of 500 and putting it away and living off with less than 1,000 or something after all the bills were paid, it was just like it taught me to live with little. And I would go and do my bulk shopping, and I'm like I said, I'm cute, so I went on loads of dates within that season. I told my mom, somebody's gonna feed me, I'm gonna be good. So I went on loads of dates within that season. I was super slim because your girl weren't eating like that. But it was a wonderful time, and I kept myself. So point A, get a saving schemes or situation where you can actually pay it off. Make a list of all your debts. Start paying off the smallest one first or the highest interest first, whichever works for you. But I felt like if you paid off the smallest one first, you had a sense of accomplishment and you can just cross it out. Be hella disciplined. Know that you're working towards a goal every month, every month. You have a tally of what's happening, what's going on, what's coming in, what's coming out. You have to live within your budget. You first have to know how to create a budget and live within the confines of that budget. You do not go outside of that budget for anything. Even now, I live by that. So I'm going to a birthday party in July, which I paid for in May, because I plan my budget for the months coming, the month before. And if it's not within that budget for the month, sorry, it's not going to happen. It would have to be something extra special or extraordinary to make me divert from the budget or the plan. But I don't go outside of my budget for anyone. If I don't have it, I don't have it, and that's it. I just stay home. So create a budget, have a saving scheme that you cannot have access to. So the very first time when I started saving again, it went via my work. So they took that money out, they put it somewhere. I had no idea where it was going, and I could only access it when I left. So it was a great way for me to save. And then when I left that place, I took the lump sum that I had and I put it into another saving scheme where there was no internet access, no debit cards, no nothing, that you would physically have to get up, go to the branch to withdraw your funds. And ain't nobody got time for that. Time to stand in a queue, time to leave your house, get dressed, get decent to go to a bank. So that was my way of deterring myself from spending on that particular account. And I always pay myself first. You hear all the gurus speak about this, from Anthony O'Neill to David Ramsey and everybody. They said pay yourself first. So every month I would literally pay myself first. Take whatever amount I wanted to save, and I did not divert from that amount. I promised that I would save, whether that's £500 or £1,000, whatever I was saving, it just went straight into that account, and I forgot it. And I lived within the means of what was left. So create a savings scheme, create a budget, make yourself uncomfortable. I was living in the most despicable, disgusting place. If anyone knows me, they know I have OCD and I'm a stickler for neatness and tidy. I like clean lines. I would say my interior design is minimalist modern. So I like just clean, straight lines, no knickknacks, no dust, no nothing, just simple. And the only place that was actually clean in this house was my room. Do you know what I mean? I lived in shared accommodation. I could have gotten an apartment where I could have rented and just spent X amount of money on bills. But I know that I was saving for a house, because I've always said rent money is dead money. you don't get it back. If you're saving for a home, if the market is good, you flip it. If the market is bad, you rent it. It's still money going towards an investment that would actually be yours at the end of it. So, but rent money is that money, you never ever get that back. So for me, that's a waste of money, time, and just a really bad investment overall. So that's what I did. So very strategic in paying it off. And like I said, once the saving pot went on the side, I rammed everything towards clearing off the debt. And I learned how to leverage debt as well. So if I had a card that was having loads of interest, as my credit profile built and my credit rating got better, I then just switched cards to a 0% interest. I did a balance transfer to a 0% interest period, and I paid it off that way. And I kept switching until the debts were paid off and I transferred. So when I put the lump sum, I was not being penalized with like loads of interest. And that's another conversation we can get into as it relates to leveraging debt and lines of credit versus loans. I think that's a huge conversation we can have to have. I don't understand. I think my eczema or something. Does that look clear? Anyhow, I digress. So those are the things that I did to pay off my debt. And every single penny that I got, whether that was via a gift, an allowance, somebody just wanted to bless me, whatever, I put it towards paying off my debt. I did not buy anything new within that period. I did not go to any lavish places. And it's so strange. I still travel and did everything, but I budgeted and I looked for the best possible deals. So that was how I was able to pay off around 25 to 30,000 K within 2 to 3 years and actively save towards buying my first home. And to be quite honest, when I was in the process of buying my first home, I didn't have the full deposit ready. But that's a whole different conversation, and that's where walking by faith counts. I put down a £200 deposit on reserving the land, and I did not even have half a deposit ready as yet. But God is good in all things. So those are my tips. So to conclude, if you really want to pay off your debt, first and foremost, itemize your debt. Figure out how much do you actually have outstanding. Start with the smallest loan and pay it off because it will give you momentum and encourage you, or actually work from the highest interest loan. Whichever works for you and whatever is good for your mental sanity, do that. Secondly, create a budget, and for no reason at all, do not deviate from that budget or that plan. And I mean that. My grandmother died in the season I was trying to build and save, and rather than dipping into my savings, I borrowed some money from a friend that I paid off within 3 months' time because I did not want to go into my saving pot, period. So you need to know, like, yo, I'm not touching this come hell or high water, period. Create a budget, stick to that budget, stick to your savings, be patient with yourself. It will take time. You won't clear it overnight, but renew yourself and be patient. Be uncomfortable in the seasons of uncomfortability. Learn to revel in it because you understand that you're working towards a goal. Don't try to do what everybody else does. Don't try to pretend that you're keeping up with the Joneses or anything like that. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and you will achieve the goals that you want to. So, real talk is nothing flash, is nothing fancy. That's actually how I paid off 25 to 30, if I'm not mistaken, in 2 to 3 years. And I'm going to talk about how I actually purchased my house in the next video. All right, guys, have a great and productive day. You know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell me what topics you guys would like me to talk about moving forward. And let's keep the momentum going. Bye.